Hello, YouTubers. So here I am. I'm going to record. This will be Saturday's podcast. It'll come out on 10/12 this Saturday, but you get the chance to watch it early because I record them live on YouTube. So I hope you're enjoying them. If you do, just please comment, share with others. And if you'd rather listen to the podcast, it's not really edited, but I do edit the sound a little bit. So the sound might be a little bit better. I'm not sure. But you can always go to anywhere you download podcasts and search for Run to Your Leadership Challenges. And there's over 2,000 episodes in there for you to take. And they're all about between 5 and 10 minutes. The earlier ones are like 3 minutes. And then I've gotten up to about 5 minutes. And now I go like between 5 and 15, I guess. Some days I get a little bit more talkative. But here we go for today. Hey, hello, leaders. This is Paul Grau Jr., and welcome to Run to Your Leadership Challenges. So today I want to talk about, it's Saturday, so it's a weekend edition. I always try to talk about something that we can apply outside of work and leadership outside of work, because we're all leaders. We never turn off the leadership, bell or the leadership role. I mean, if you're a leader, you're a leader. It doesn't matter where you are. And I believe that leaders are born. And I also believe leaders can be made. And those natural leaders, I mean, you go to any kindergarten playground and you're going to see the natural born leaders, because there's going to be small kids that are just taking charge. And believe me, my youngest daughter, Katie, she is a born leader, because I remember in Sunday school when she was like 4 years old, we'd go to pick her up, and the teacher, she'd be like sitting in chairs with everybody in a line behind her, and she'd be like, okay, line up here and do this. And the teachers used to say, oh yeah, Katie's a little leader. So, I mean, you can see leadership abilities very early in life. And they don't really, I don't think they learn it by that time. I think they're just natural born leaders. But also, if you don't have natural born leadership skills, you can learn them. So today I want to talk about living out your values. Now, values to me are very important. And whether you know it or not, even if you don't know your values, they're very important to you. So if you don't know your values, just think about what really rubs you the wrong way. And that's a good thing, that whatever opposite of whatever rubs you the wrong way might be a value. So when you think about that, if, I don't know, if somebody's driving slow in the left lane, now the value, and if that really ticks you off, the value is not going to be somebody driving in the left lane, or the value is going to be kind of following the rules, or justice, or, I don't know. It's something to that extent. So sometimes you got to think about it, but sometimes it's a little bit more obvious than others. I mean, I recently realized that I was not living out one of my values in every area of my life. And I talked about that a few weeks ago on the podcast, and I recommend you kind of checking that out if you want, because it was kind of a come to Jesus meeting for me. When I realized this, and I realized that, well, I'll tell you, I wasn't valuing all people, but one of my values is life. And if you're going to value life, you got to value everybody. So I have really, really been taking that to heart lately. And I've been really, if somebody rubs me the wrong way, I'm like, hey, I value life. So I value them. So you know what? Where's this negative feeling coming from? And I try to talk the self-talk, which I've talked about the last week and a half, and it's been helping. I have the Self-Talk Plus app that I opted into going to the monthly pay version. And I tell you, I listen to it every day, and there's a whole bunch of different things that you can listen to, but it's really cool. But anyway, back on values. Are you living out your values? And if so, the easiest way to tell that is to ask people who are around you the most, and ask them what they think your values are. because what's important to you the most is probably your values. And if you say your values are one thing, but people around, I say that not to get on you because, like I said, I recently realized that I wasn't living out my values, or all of them. There was one in particular, and that made me really go back to the drawing board and list out my values, see what my top 10 values are, see what my top five values are, see what my top three values are. And as a minimum, the people that know you the best, they should be able to identify what your top three values are, or at least your top one value, your top value, your very top value. If you approach somebody and they're like, well, I don't know. Well, follow up with a question of, well, how do I live? Based on the way I live and based on the way I act and treat others you know, and what my priorities are, what would you say my values are? And, you know, get them to talk about it. And it might not be what you want to hear, but if you have values, which everybody has values, if you don't have them written down, I challenge you to kind of take time to write them down and then really think about it. And there's online exercises. If you want like a value sheet that I got from the VA, that really walks you through and it lists hundreds of values and it has you go through and pick your top 10 and then it has you narrow it down to your top five. It was a really good exercise that I went through and I was able to identify like my top 20 values. And then I got down to 10 and I got it down to five. And believe me, getting it down to five was not easy. But if you want that form that I got from them and that value exercise, just shoot me an email at paul@clcteam.com. And the other reason I want to talk about values on the weekend is because values are very important to your whole family. You see, you might have different values than your spouse or your kids, but you should have family values. You know how when you go into work, you usually have values hanging on the wall. This is this company's values, or this is our business values. Well, family's no different. You should have family values. And the reason why that you should have family values is that if you have family values and you come up with them together as a family, all right, as a mom or a dad that may be listening, you don't come up with your family values by yourself because you want your kids to be a part of this coming up with the family values as well, because that's going to give them buy-in. And the important thing about having buy-in with values is, when you have a set of family values and you write them down, man, I've heard before, write them down, highlight them, put them in a frame, type them out nice and neat on a nice, some kind of certificate or something, and frame them and put it on your wall. Say, hey, these are the Grau family values, and put them right inside your door. So when people come in, they can see what your family values are. And that is in itself an accountability measure, because if they read your family values and then you get in an argument with them, or if they see you living in a way that's not living them out, they can say, hey, these are your values, but I'm not really seeing this in you. And the same thing goes to with your family members. You could, if you come up with family values as a family and you narrow it down to like your top 10 or top five, and you all agree that, yes, these are going to be our family values while we're together, this is how we're going to live. Well, it's a great way to hold each other accountable. Now, be careful what you ask for here, because your kids will hold you accountable. I'll guarantee they will. But it also gives you some way to hold them accountable because it's something that they agreed upon to live by. So, it also just gives you a way to see your values, to be able to review them every day, and to treat each other the way you want others to treat you. I mean, and values are just so important. So, hey, that's it for today. Challenge is figure out what your values are, write them down, and then go from there. Hey, that's it for today. Until tomorrow, or until Monday, run to your challenges. We'll see you. Hey, that's it for today. Sorry, I just got a phone call, so I got to cut this off early. And hey, have a great rest of your Saturday. If you're watching this on Saturday, if you're watching it on Tuesday, I hope you enjoyed all of the episodes. I may record Monday's episode in a little while, but I may just wait till later on in the week as well. Friday's a good time to do Mondays. So come on back when you see me go live again, and make sure that YouTube can notify you, because that way you can see me live. You can comment. I can look at your comments and maybe respond to them right away. Hey, have a great rest of your weekend or the rest of your week, and come on back next time I'm live. You can also check out some of my videos on my channel and enjoy them. Let me know what you think. And if you have any leadership topics that you want me to talk about, feel free to drop me a line, or you can email me directly at paul@clcteam.com. Take it easy. We'll see you. End the stream.